Hi, I'm Debbie Ford.
I'm Michael Bernard Beckwith.
I'm Barbara Marks Hubbard.
I'm Jack Canfield.
I'm Malika Chopra, and you're watching
Green Tea? No. Green Tea?
Green Tea with Tamara.
We're watching Green Tea with Tamara. Keep watching.
Who knew? We're catching up with one of the extraordinary evolutionary leaders from tonight, Jack Canfield. How are you doing this evening?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
And we know your friend, Mark Victor Hansen.
Yes, my co-author on all the Chicken Soup for the Soul books.
Yes, because Green Tea with Tamara.tv, that was our very first video that Kevin Carr and I did. We went to the Soul Motion Ball. What kind of impact have you yourself been able to make on poverty and illiteracy?
Well, I've sold the most books ever according to Guinness Book of Records with Jack Canfield. The Chicken Soup for the Soul sold 157 million books. And
got to interview a lot of the lovely leaders like Ariel Ford and Debbie Ford, and Michael Beckwith was there that night. And you weren't there though, so finally we're getting to catch up with you here at UCLA at Royce Hall for the Evolutionary Call to Consciousness. And what does that event mean for you in your heart tonight?
Well, I think it's the first time the Evolutionary Leaders group has said, okay, we want to go out and make ourselves known to the public and let people know what we're about and what we stand for and what we hope to accomplish over the next few years to really consciously evolve ourselves and invite that same evolution for people. And it's unique to each person. We're not saying anyone should do any one thing, but to really look inside and say, okay, what are you being called to do?
And I think a lot of people are not hearing their calling because there's so much toxicity on the planet, from, you know, just the physical toxicity and pollution to, you know, the mind clutter. And, you know, people are distracted by, you know, different types of media. Everything's in a soundbite. Everybody has ADD. So how can we clean ourselves up so that we're a channel, so that we can actually plug in and really hear that divine calling and know what we're supposed to be doing?
Well, I think everybody has to find a methodology or several that they can commit to, because you're absolutely right. You can't hear the inner voice, which is often whispering to you, if you're not, you know, cleaning out the gunk, if you will. Find some methodology, some form of meditation, something that allows you to clear so you can then be present to respond to the inner guidance, because I believe we're all getting the guidance. And some of us are clear enough, we're all hearing it. And when we come together to talk, like the Evolutionary Leaders Group, we go, oh yeah, I'm getting the same message, you know, so we need to cooperate to bring these new forms forward and to bring new initiatives into the world to open it up and make everyone, you know, to really give people the spiritual fulfillment and the social justice and the ecological sustainability that's required right now for this planet to survive.
Right. And there's something about coming together in a group. Like, I know that when I come together, you know, in a big meeting full of spiritual people, that I actually leave and I feel transformed and changed. And I think it's something about the energy. And that's what I'm so excited about tonight, is all of the evolutionary leaders. I actually brought my little crystal with me because I wanted to zap some of that energy and take it home with me. And I really feel like when people like you and some of these evolutionary leaders are in a room together, like there's Barbara Marks Hubbard right behind us, that there's something that you can actually palpable that you can actually take home with you. What is that?
Well, it's called a coherent field. In fact, one of our participants is a guy named Howard Martin, who is one of the vice presidents of the HeartMath Institute. And literally, when you get into a certain space, there's a coherency between your heart and your mind, and therefore wisdom emerges. And a simple technique like imagining you're breathing through your heart, in and out through your heart, and then focusing on someone, something, or some place you appreciate, that literally doing that for 3 or 4 minutes puts you into a state of coherence. Wow. And when people come together, like the evolutionary leaders and all the people that are attracted to an event like this, there is a coherent field formed that creates a vibration that's higher than any one individual. And everybody, in your sense, like you brought your crystal to kind of take some of the energy, and crystals do store and amplify energy. Smart thing you did. The way I like to hold it is this huge ball of light gets created, and you like take as much in as you can, and then sustain you in the world, and then you can get more of that light through meditation, some of the techniques we just talked about. But I think we're being called to community today. You know, community is really what people are needing. Unfortunately, so many people are cocooning in their homes, watching only the TV stations that support their point of view.
Bad news.
You know, and so they're not really talking to each other, and they're not coming together to solve problems and to create new solutions and to evolve together. So someone told a story recently It said God decided what he was going to do was hide a little piece of truth in everybody, and that would force them to have to talk to each other in order to discover what was really true. And I think these kind of events, that's part of what happens. And I think, people used to come together, some people still do, in churches on Sunday and temples and mosques as a way of feeling that unitive connectedness to each other and to God. And I think that these kind of events are also another way of doing that.
Well, it's been a joy getting to finally meet you and talk with you, and we're going to look forward to hearing you speak inside. Anything else you want to tell us? Where can we find you online? Of course, just Google you, and you're everywhere.
JackCanfield.com. It'll take you where you need to go.
Okay, we can get lots of your books and different things and study a little bit more deeply what you're going to be sharing with us tonight. We're catching up with one of the beautiful evolutionary leaders tonight, Barbara Marx Hubbard. You look so radiant and gorgeous tonight. Are you having a good time?
I'm so happy. I've been mothering the idea of conscious evolution for 40 years, and to suddenly see it surfacing in so many people has actually made me joyful.
Well, I love the fact that you talk about mothering, because I often talk a lot here at GreenTeaWithTamara.tv about Mother Earth, and the fact that we are trying to that she is trying to heal, and that she needs us to channel and tune in with her in order to make this happen. So I'm sure you have a lot of wisdom about that. You could share.
I think Mother Earth is giving birth. She gave birth to life, to animal life, to human life, to the ecologies. Now she's giving birth to a human form of life that's able to relate to the whole.
Relate to what?
The whole.
The whole, okay.
Who's
able
able
the oneness.
to feel one with all of Earth, that's able to want to give birth in ourselves to a more compassionate, connected, and creative human who wants to connect with other humans and to make a new culture.
Yeah.
So Mother Earth has created a crisis. Not only have humans created the crisis, but Mother Earth created intelligent humans, our big brains, and we began to overpopulate and pollute. We didn't even know we had an environment 50 years ago. And suddenly we get this feedback. You could destroy your environment. You could destroy each other. And this is the great wake-up call for the evolution of our species.
Yes.
You see?
The great wake-up call, like we're having a call to consciousness, right? This is our call, right?
And a call to conscious evolution is a call, first of all, to be aware that evolution is evolving through us. We're affecting our own life by our babies, by our food, by what we buy, what we do. So if we're affecting it, then we have to decide how we want to affect it. And then we have to decide what kind of future would we like to create. Because if we're not conscious of it, we'll just keep on doing what we're doing and we'll destroy ourselves.
We're catching up with one of my personal favorite evolutionary leaders, Debbie Ford, and your movie and your book and everything out. What's it called again?
The Shadow Effect.
The Shadow Effect. How many of those have you sold? Are you on the bestseller list? Because I know that everyone is so fascinated with the dark side because it's so sexy, isn't it?
It is so sexy, and it can free us up to live and be who we want to be in the world.
Yeah.
So yes, we're on the New York Times list.
Yay.
And the book just came out with Deepak Chopra and Marianne Williamson and I. So it's great to team up with two of our evolutionary leaders and, such important people.
Yeah, because there's so much going on, so much healing that can take place if people learn the simple principles behind what you teach about projection and, how we only see our darkness in other people. And if you realize if you spot it, you got it, those kind of things, right?
Yes. You could be the next Debbie Ford.
I'm trying because I'm listening and I've used so much of all your wisdom trying to heal my own self. And then I see other people and I'm like, it's like this is where the healing begins. Like I've been touched by the teacher and now I want to share the message. And that's what we're doing here tonight, of all the conscious evolutionary leaders coming together in one place. Hopefully there'll be this huge ripple effect. Everyone will go home and talk to their loved ones and their friends in their community and get everybody turned on to the conscious movement, right?
Yes, and I think people are ready. Most people are already doing good things in their lives, and this is the next step where we know that we're not really alone out there. And everything we think matters, and every action we take or we don't take matters. And that if we align together, we can live in the kind of world that most of us are aching for, instead of a world that, is run in many ways by the shadow, by the dark side, as we know.
Yeah. So I'd encourage everyone to get her movies and her books and everything, and so entertaining. You've just made healing and entertaining sexy movement. I think that's what I love about you.
Oh, well, that's because you're quite sexy yourself.
Yeah, it takes one to know one. And the last time we caught up with you was at the Soul Motion Ball, Mark Victor Hansen. That was the very first video that GreenTeaWithTamara.tv did, in fact. Debbie, I love you. It's so good to see you here this evening.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I've been following your shadow work since I think like 2002 or 2003 when I read your first article in a little magazine, and I've been following you ever since, and I think your work is wonderful to help us shine the light on the shadow of ourselves.
We all have a little dark side, and we should take care of it so it doesn't have to pop out and hit us in the face, right? Exactly.
So you were on in our first video, and here we are 60 videos later, catching up with you again. You're everywhere.
Oh,
so.
yes, and you're doing amazing work out in the world, and you just imagine if you had kept your mouth shut. You know, how many people wouldn't know what they know today because you keep getting out there and stepping up. And that's really why we've joined here tonight at this Evolutionary Leader event, is to support everybody in finding their gifts and then really going after them and knowing that they matter and their voice matters right now, and this is our time.
Right, it's time to shine, and that gives us hope here at GreenTeaWithTamara.tv. We're all about healing our planet Earth. Hey, we're catching up with another one of my very favorite evolutionary leaders tonight, Michael Beckwith. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
You know, we keep seeing you everywhere. We saw you at the Soul Motion Ball, and then we did that wonderful promo for your PBS thing.
Right.
The Answer Is You.
It's entitled The Answer Is You. So basically, what we have done is put together a package of a message and music that exhorts people to discover the highest and best that is within them and to release it so that they can begin to live a fulfilling, powerful, prosperous, and healthy life.
And
that was a good night.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
And now here we are again for the evolutionary call to consciousness. What's going to be the main meat of your message tonight?
Well, basically, I have the privilege of doing the evocation, just setting the spiritual tone with my wife, Ricky Byers-Beckwith, and then that will open up the space for the other evolutionary leaders to step into that space and speak their message.
You're the best man for the job.
Well, thank you so much.
And my favorite evolutionary leader tonight, Malika Chopra. We have a history together.
We do. Yeah, it's great to see you again. You look great.
She was on my show, my talk show that I had a while back when you were having your little daughters and your baby books, and the 7 spiritual laws of success turned into a movie.
Yes, I know. That's right. We talked about that. That was a while ago. It was really fun. So good to see you here.
Yeah, and I was telling you about the synchro destiny that I had, or the synchronicity that I had with the movie, because I read your dad's book, and then 10 years later it was made into a movie.
Yeah.
And you said, and my father would call that synchro destiny.
Right.
Oh, and I had to tell you the synchronicity. I was in the Miss USA pageant, and this was 10 years ago, and they asked me questions like, you know, what is your favorite this? What is your favorite that? They asked me, what is your favorite author and what is your favorite book? See right there? And this was 10 years ago. I said the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra.
Amazing.
Talk about synchronicity. Fast forward 10 years today.
Yeah.
I meet you,
Yeah.
and I get to meet him.
Yeah.
And who knew? The book, you produced it, and it's a movie now.
I know, and that's my dad would say that synchro destiny.
Yeah, synchro destiny coming true.
Yeah,
And I
that's
always
right.
tell that story when people talk about synchronicities. What are some of the big synchronicities that happened in your life?
You know what? I mean, I think every day there are things that happen. So, and we were taught to always look at them. And now my big thing is around intention and setting our intents and then looking for those meanings in life.
And you have Intent Blog, and I just posted on there today about tonight's event at intentblog.com. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, it's www.intent.com.
Okay, intent.com.
And it's really grown since we kind of talked a while ago. It's, you know, we've kind of become a Twitter with a purpose, and people are sharing intents, and it's a really active community. So it's really been a fun project, and kind of takes us to the next level where we're stating our intentions and then creating that synchro destiny in our lives.
Right, I love that. It's so fun to be a co-creator here on planet Earth, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what is going to be the meat of your message tonight?
You know, I have a few lines, and so I'm just talking about using media and the power of media, which we both know has a real power to affect transformation.
And even the show that we did so long ago, I still post it every once in a while when your name comes up and I tag it. There's Malika, there's our interview, and it lives on forever.
That's so great, isn't it? It's amazing.
Green tea! Green tea with Tamara.